In this week's Torah portion, we meet Korach. Korach is a prominent Levite, but he's not a Kohen. So we're in Numbers, chapter 16, and Korach and some of his comrades revolt. And they say to Moshe, "Who made you the king?" And they say to Aaron, "Who made you the high priest? We're all holy. Why do you exalt yourselves over us?" And boy, do Korach and his cronies get punished. At Moshe's request, the earth literally opens up underneath Korach's feet, and he gets swallowed alive. So we can view this episode as a cautionary tale. Don't get swallowed up by jealousy. That's a lesson. But there is also something deeper going on. Some of you may not know that we believe in reincarnation. I do not know how. I do not know why, but there are times when God takes a soul that has for some reason not fulfilled its mission down here in this world and gives it another chance. And we have a tradition that Korach's soul was a reincarnated one. Who did it belong to previously? Cain, from Genesis fame, as in Cain and Abel. So what happens back then? Chapter 4 in Genesis, Adam's two sons, they divide the world. Abel, he becomes a shepherd. Cain, he becomes a farmer. And now it's time to bring tributes to God. Hevel brings from the best of his flock. Cain brings from his fruit, not from the best. And God accepts Hevel's offering, doesn't accept Cain's offering. And boy, does Cain get upset. An attack of the green-eyed monster. And God gives him a pep talk and tells him about repentance. You can do this. But instead of going back out into the field and bringing better fruit, he goes back out and he kills his brother. Now let's move forward in time. That soul, Cain's soul, gets another chance. Now it's in Korach's body. So we can almost feel Korach screaming out, "I blew it the last time. And this time I'm not going to make that same mistake. I am going to be the best Jew that I can be. Moshe, don't take that role for yourself. I want to stand on Sinai. I want to speak face to face to God. Aaron, don't take that role yourself as high priest. I want to officiate at the service in the Mishkan and the tabernacle. I want that relationship of total closeness, ultimate closeness with God." Now he's wrong, because although of course we have to work on being as best as we can be, we have to do it within the confines of our given role and our given talent. And that's the mistake that he made. Reb Zusha famously was asked by his students, "Rebbe, aren't you worried that when you get up to heaven, God's going to ask you, why weren't you as great as our saintly forefather Abraham?" And Zusha said, "I'm not worried about that at all. I'm worried that God's going to ask me, Zusha, why weren't you Zusha?" Because we're told that apparently, up in heaven when the time comes, on these celestial giant screen IMAX, we're shown a movie of sorts. And the star in that movie is you. But it's not necessarily the you that you know and your friends and your relatives knew when you were down here. It's the you could have been. It's the best possible you. And imagine when you're watching that movie, that the you in that movie is the same you that was down here on earth. You know what that must feel like for eternity? You did it, you accomplished it, you were the best possible person you could be. That feeling is heavenly. But if you didn't, and if the gap between the you in that movie and the you down here is huge, and it's for eternity, and you blew it, that feeling is hellish. And we don't want to make that mistake. And so let's learn both of those lessons from Korach. Yes, don't get swallowed up by jealousy. But think of his intention. Be the best Jew you can be. Within the confines of your role and your talent, come as close as you possibly can to God. And hopefully that the person in that movie that you eventually get to watch will be the same you that you were down here.